Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hi. It's me. It's Flax. Oh, hold on. My brain is blanking. Your amicable animated scarecrow. Hi. Sorry, it has been a very, very long week for me. I hope y'all doing okay. Hope everybody's doing all right. Welcome in. Oh, hold on. You all are extremely large on my end. Well, I just realized you are gonna I like being able to see you, but this is art time, so we need to be able to see the art stuffs. That's what y'all are here for anyways. There we go. Scarecrows didn't have a brains? Oh, wait, that's right. I forgot I don't have a brain. Happens to the best of us. But hi, welcome in. I know it's been a hot minute since I last streamed. Like I said, things have been a little busy for me. Still getting some new chores and stuff done around the farm and all that. But I really wanted to do this sort of stream because as y'all might be able to see if I pull back the curtain a little bit of this, there's not a whole lot here. And it's a not perfectly serviceable background, but I think we can do better. I know I can do better. So I wanted, take a good crack at actually drawing my shed, drawing what I want my shed to be. I got a game for free last week. Let's go! Oh my gosh. It's great when you can get a game. It's even better when you can get one for free. That somehow makes the game better. Even if it's not a particularly great game, you're like, but hey, I didn't have to pay for it. So that's a bonus. My Hero Academia. Oh, nice. Oh man, I've always wanted to try going for one of those like giveaway things, but knowing my luck, I would never get chosen for it. So it is what tis. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if I can do the there we go. And it was the deluxe. Oh, you got the nice one. Nice. Alrighty. Just so we're clear, can we see everything? Can you at least see my cursor running around on screen? I'll be so honest, for a while, I wanted to try doing one of those like, oh look, it's my hand running across the screen, but sometimes I worry it would get too distracting and oh, but also, are my audio levels okay? Everything's sounding okay? We looking okay? Please let me know if anything is off, okay? I would rather like hear it now versus like 3 hours into a stream. So another thing. As you can see at the bottom here along the bottom edge of the screen, I decided to also put a little thing letting you know what my art playlist is. Somebody asked that in a previous, I believe it was on the tier list VOD. Somebody asked me what my playlist was, and at the time I was like, oh, it was DOVA-SYNDROME. So if you can find it there. But I wanted to be a little bit more helpful and be like, oh, this is hold on a second. Sorry about that. I dropped something off my desk. I wanted to be a little bit more helpful for future references for anybody who wants to, find other ways to have copyright-free music and stuff like that. Dova, they did. Oh, yeah. It's more like Hololive uses DOVA-SYNDROME playlist, because DOVA-SYNDROME is just copyright-free music for anybody to use. It's not specific to Hololive. A lot of VTubers, a lot of streamers, a lot of content creators in general tend to use DOVA-SYNDROME because they are copyright-free and they're widely available. It's why also like you'll hear a lot of similar playlists with songs. Uh you'll hear a lot of songs crop up in similar playlists. You're like, "Hey, wait a minute. I know that VTuber music. It's from XYZ." So, that if you're like, "Oh, that sounds familiar," they're very likely using Dova Syndrome. Unless they've mixed the art or mixed the word bleh, mixed the music themselves. Wow, that was hard to say. Oh, let's not do that again. Let's not say words again. I'm gonna be a silent streamer from now on. But yeah. All right. Let's get cracking on designing though, cuz I'll be so honest. I am usually very bad at trying to figure out what I want a room to look like or sort of thing to look like. So, let me see. Um, and for anybody curious, I'm using Paint Tool Sai version 2. Um, I know a lot of folks tend to use Clip Paint Studio or Adobe or whatever, but this is the program that I've just used for years, and it's worked for me. Actually, I'm so sorry. I just started the stream, but actually, can you give me a second here? There's something going on in the background that's a little distracting. So I'll be right back. I apologize. This is bad. This is annoying, but I apologize. Give me 1 second. Enjoy the music in the meantime. Ah, sorry about that. Yeah, I heard some clattering downstairs, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And all of a sudden, bam! I see all the kibble spilled out on the floor. And I'm like, "Ah, dang it, barn cat." So apologies, apologies. But let's actually get back into things. I can unpin that now. How do I unpin? How do I unpin a message? Sure. Things they don't tell you in social media school. Um, Give me 1 second. Oh, Google. Unpin message and launch. Sorry about that. This is going off to a swimming start. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. All right, let's actually get to the art part of this whole thing. Great. Ugh. There we go. Okay. So, new shed. New shed. All right. If I... Hold on. I need to draw, like, imaginary self here. Stellar. I know. But this is just as a stand-in for where I am. I didn't realize that's hard to see. Hold on. There we go. Cheap trick to make it more line arty. Okay. So if we use this as like, because most people have like, oh, this, like, for their backgrounds, they have, like, they would have their room sort of laid out like something like this, where the main, where the idea is like you have like your room part here, or maybe they have more going on in the background here. But the basic setup, from what I've seen, is like this, and then they have like a desk in front, something like that. And that's an idea, and it would certainly work for the for what I have in mind for the shed, especially if I bump it out that way. I'm horrible with perspectives on stuff, in art, because like, as you can tell, I'm really not like a backgrounds person. But the basic idea from really kind of what I want to do is like, hold on, is this still my? Okay, yeah, it's still my free playlist. I heard voices. I was like, oh no, is this still okay? Um, Basic idea of I've wanted to do is like have like maybe a few shelves of like knickknacks over here. Something along, maybe like a window along this wall that I could like look out and you would see like, I don't know, cows. Oh, but that would mean I would have to learn how to draw a cow. That's a horrible cow. You draw like I do. Well, this is just the planning stage too, which is where I usually get very, very like loose with my ideas. So I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do. But I guess if this is going to be a shed, it would make sense to have like some, maybe I would have some like some supplies in the corner. Like, if this makes any sense of like, every time I've been in a shed, it's always had like boxes, some barrels of unknown things and origins. Maybe a sack of grain in the corner. Hay bales, you usually see those outside. It doesn't really like there. I will say, I know barns can sometimes have hay bales in them, like the really really big ones. But most of the times when you see hay bales, you're seeing them out in the field because that's kind of where they're supposed to be, more or less half the time. Question mark. I'll be so honest. I'm getting used to this whole farming thing. Like I said, I mostly just worked in the I just worked, with the crops. And my job was primarily keep the birds away. So like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't quite. I'm not entirely certain how they work. But I think hay bales tend to go outside. If this is my desk, I can also put stuff on the desk, like little. I guess. Oh, I guess I could have a fun little, like, not that Barn Cat actually uses a pet bed, but I could have like a little pet bed somewhere here. Like, maybe a little basket of a pet bed. I don't know if this translates as much to a basket, but you get the gist. Just a little place for him to rest when he comes by. Oh, wait, I could put tools on the wall. I can put my tools up here. Got one of these pitchforky things. Which, I'll be so honest, I've seen people use them and I still don't know what exactly they're doing. I think it's a barn tool. Again, something I'm not super familiar with. I stay outside, y'all. Oh, I guess I could put my hoe here too. The farm tool hoe. In case Twitch gets mad. Okay, I'm starting to get an idea. Let's see. Hold on. Speaking of Barn Cat, I can hear him scratching at my door. It's punishment for him knocking over all the kibble in the pantry, but I've locked him out of my room, but now he's getting mad. Oh my gosh, Barn Cat, please. Please, work with me here. Okay. I guess also, if this is gonna be... Wooden floors would probably be the most apt for this sort of space. That's sort of the vibes I do like wooden floors. They're annoying to clean, but I do like them. So, no, I think this is starting to come together. Let's see. Just random knickknacks here. I don't plan to get this all done in one stream either. Just because I know, knowing me, this is going to take a long time to fully finish. Oh, actually, I want a version. It's going to take a long time for me to fully finish this anyway, so let's not have any delusions over me finishing this all in one stream. That is extremely unlikely. But I think then let's go ahead. Actually saw Iron Lung last week. Ooh, nice. I will admit, I'm not as I know the story of Iron Lung, and I know Markiplier it was very heavily involved with it. I know he did everything he could to really bring that movie to life along with the creator. I don't that's like one movie that I want to go see, but I don't think there's any place nearby that I can go see it. And so I'm really hoping it'll come to streaming services or to like physical copy. That would be even better if honestly for me. Good movie, slow burn horror. Oh, nice. There's a balance you have to strike with slow burn horror especially. Like don't get me wrong, I love horror. I actually really do like horror movies, horror content, all that stuff. The problem is that like there is slow burn horror and then there's okay, please, we don't have all day. Please just tell the story. So I'm glad that like it's not falling into that category, you know? Uh oh wait, what am I doing? Yeah. What was that? Uh, what should I add here? Oh, that's wrong. Should I do a should I do a rug? Does a rug make sense in this? Probably doesn't. Actually, hold on a second. I think wait, actually now that I'm looking at this, I think this angle might be slightly better for the floorboards and such. I'm gonna raise up the ceiling and all that stuff. Or I'm gonna raise up these parts on the wall. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I actually really do enjoy a good horror story. I think can tell a lot more than I think some people know or realize. Because it's not just about, oh, I'm so scared. It's about like, well, why am I so scared? Why am I like afraid of this thing? What does this thing mean to me? What that it scares me so, you know? Um, and I really like that about good horror. I'm trying to remember the last time I was genuinely like scared of a movie or a game or anything like that, and nothing's really coming to mind. Um. Oh, you know what? You know what? I can think of one thing. There is a game called Payne's Creek Killing, which is a detective game. Um, where I believe it's made by the same people who did Scene Investigators. I think. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Um, where, as the name implies, you're investigating scenes of crime, usually scenes of murder or disappearances, etc., etc. And the idea is like you piece together the story based on what you see, and that's it. And one really cool thing that I think it nails is that slow burn uh what's it called? Slow burn horror, because without going into too many details, there is a point where like the tone of the game takes a sharp turn and you're like, "Oh, things got really serious really quickly." And suddenly it's not so much of a like walk in the like take your time walk in the park thing. Like there is actually like, "Oh, I have a real time limit here." And that part is really, really well done in my opinion. I really like that how they did that. Um, 'Cause like I said, the whole game is just about exploring. Payne's Creek Killing is all about exploring a small town and piecing together how this vibrant small town fell to such tragedy. So, yeah, it's really, really solid. Um, let's see. And okay, here's the other thing I have to contend with. Do I want to keep the signpost in my shed? Because I will admit, having a little signpost like here-ish is funny, but it also feels a little out of place to be like, oh yeah, here's my little signpost in a inside room. Uh, this is just an example of how it could look of the chat signboard. Honestly, this could work if I make it bigger, but man, that is a big signboard. Hmm. Huh. Or here's another idea. Instead of doing one giant signboard or having it right about there, I could do a hanging thing like here. Oh, that's my blind. I could do like something hanging. Uh, I don't, this is just a rough idea of how I want it to hang, sort of thing. Like, you know those like hanging signboards you see outside, like saloons or something of the like, like made of wood and stuff like that. And the idea was like, that's where chat could go. That's where chat could go. Yeah, that's another idea. I like that. I actually think I like that too. Um, let's see. Hmm. Actually, I think I like that a lot more than I thought I would. Oh, wrong. Yeah, if we imagine this as a board, a wooden board, and then the idea was be like a piece of paper or something over here. And that way, if it's just a chatting little thing, then I can still look over at y'all because you'll just be like right next to me. Yeah, that could work. Could work. Okay. Oh, let me actually like do this while I'm thinking about it. There we go. Okay. And let me just. I'm one of those freaks who labels all their layers very intricately sometimes. But it's mostly because otherwise I will lose track of everything. Dash key. No. Weird. What? Sign board 2. Okay. Let me check. This isn't too busy, right? Like this I feel like is a good start. Yeah, I think this is a good place to start. So, that being said, let's start with the background first. I swear the ruler tool inside has saved my life so much. Just to get the basic outline of the room. Did I? No, I didn't do those lines right. Straight. Nope. I hope y'all can't hear Barn Cat scratching at the door. That'd drive me insane, but you can, let me know, and I can shoot him. That's right for a window. Nope, not right. Not right. Okay, yeah, that works. Wait, no, no, it doesn't. What did it? No, it doesn't. Perspective. Why am I so bad at perspectives? Okay, hold on a second. No, this line has to be parallel, so hold on a second. Let's do a little, just to make sure I'm using similar lines. Aha! Control V, you have saved me once more. There we go. Now, why don't that look right? Did I have it more right before? Oh, that'll make me mad. Grrr. Why 3D hard? Why 3D hard and annoying? Oh, I also want to apologize if I'm not talking as much during the stream. I know I can focus pretty hardcore when it comes to art, so I don't end up saying a lot. But I hope this is still fun for folks to at least see what my thinking process is for like designing stuff. Not that it's super in depth, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Just do a big old slab of. Alright, that'll be just a slab on the wall. But this I want a little bit more depth as a actual like shelf. Um understand my pain for drawing. Thank you. It's a noble and terrible cause, but you know what? Even if my art's terrible, even if my art's terrible, it's still mine, and I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it with every inch of my being. whole lot, but at least to let folks it's like not a little bitty piece of wood on the wall. And I don't mind that it's a little crooked or a little like not perfectly straight, because I do like the idea of like what's the word I'm looking for? One thing I really do like doing with my art a lot is like add little imperfections like on purpose. Because I think that's where like a lot of character comes in art, of like these little weird imperfections. Oh, that's too much. These little weird imperfections on stuff. It's why like folks are really drawn to stuff like asymmetry in designs, like heterochromia, uneven hair lengths, all that stuff. So I really like doing little ways of that in my art. I'm probably gonna texture this more as I like end up rendering it. Let's see. Now for the barrel. Hold on. I need to pull. This is gonna sound silly, but I need to pull up a picture of a barrel and a box. Because I have an idea of how I want them to look specifically in my mind. But I'm not sure how to draw them. Oh my god. What am I doing? Nah. Oh, wait, I forgot. I have a beautiful, beautiful thing called a symmetry tool. Yippee! Where's the symmetry line? There it is. This little tiny thing. We move it over here. So. I know what I said about I like asymmetry art, but this is different because it is something with a definitive what's it called? Dimensions that are very specific, you know? So if you get it wrong, people will notice. That's a really tiny barrel. I know how we can make it better. Multiple barrels. Let's do this while I'm thinking about it. God, barn cat, stop scratching at my door. I can hear you. Cease. I hope this indicates like the kind of barrel I was talking about. I guess I have to make a thicker lip on it. Yeah, I have to make this part a little bit, erase that. Yeah, that works. Turn off the symmetry tool. Like, do this. Do this. Yes. Yes. And yes. Oh, yeah, do that. That. I think this is starting to look like a barrel. Starting to. Oh, I gotta do a lip at the bottom too. Symmetry tool, come back on. There we go. Oh my gosh, can y'all believe it's almost Valentine's Day? This month has like flown so. I know February is always a very fast month, but my God, this month has flown by. I'm unfortunately going to be very busy on Valentine's, so I won't be able to do any sort of special stream, even though I would really love to, but I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time this year to do anything for that. So, meh. But I still hope folks have a lot of fun with it. Even if you're not in a relationship, even if, you know, you like, it's not really my thing. It's still a year of like you can do a lot of fun things. Or it's still a time of the year where you can do a lot of fun things. You can get really good discount chocolate. And yeah, you know, it doesn't have to be all about romantic love. It can be all about like it can just be about, you know, self-love. It can be about, you know, love for your family. I know typically it is about romantic love, but I would argue there needs to be more kinds of love celebrated outside romantic love. Yeah. Can't draw. I can't draw. Get that line. There we go. There we go. I think that's barrel enough to call a barrel. Yeah. You know what? Why stop at one barrel? Why stop at one? I say, we deserve another. And what's that? What's that in the corner? Oh my God, it's another barrel. So stupid. But I do think it makes it look more full to have multiple barrels. There we go. Oop. Now, what are in these barrels? Who knows? Who knows what are in these barrels? More barrels! I say infinite barrels! For all my friends! Actually, hold on a second. I think I'm gonna move this one down a little bit. Hold on a second. This is gonna make sense in a second here. This is just to move them all at once. I want to get a better feel for the 3D space. There we go. There we go. Actually, I think I like that without messing with it. Okay. That I feel comfy with. go. That one. Oh, wrong. Wrong layer. Did it again. Aha. Now I've only had to erase one from one barrel. There we go. Okay. Yeah, okay, I dig that. I dig that. All right. And then mush those together. Barrels. And I wanted a crate in this corner. Do-do-da. Crate. I have two ideas for crates. I could do both of them technically if I really wanted to fill up that little corner space. Or I could put like one here. My idea was so the two crates I was thinking of are like I don't know why I'm doing this right now, but the kind of crate where like you expect to that are like they have little like slats in between. I gotta find a good reference. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Like the idea is that you can see through these parts. So it's so you could see through to the other side. But usually you would see like apples in here, like or something. I've seen them also with like little handles or I think that could be cool. Yeah, I think that's might be what I want to do for one. And then for the other one, I think I'll just go with like the standard like what folks think of when they think of a wooden box in a video game. Just kind of Speaking of, wasn't there an index to see how long it took you to get to a wooden box in a game that you could destroy? I swear there was like an index for that in video games. I don't know if it was like an official thing, but somebody made it like a it had something to do with like when players are able to destroy a box. Sorry for the yawn. I'm like when I mentioned I had a long week, I had a long week. Nope. Oh. Go. Is that right? Hold on a second. Yeah, they have a thicker outer lip is the one I'm thinking of. How do I translate that to the top? I could do a little shadow there. I think that's the best way I could translate that. And they have thicker corners too. I think. Am I remembering that right? Am I remembering that? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Beep, beep, beep. Taking a stretch break because I just feel like it's been an hour. All right. Oh, that means my playlist is gonna run out soon. I had to switch playlists. Can't forget that. Because each of these like moonlit fantasy things are only like an hour or so. So DOVA-SYNDROME is a lot of little songs in a single playlist. Well, this is like some lengthy soundtracks, but they're unfortunately also limited in time. Oh, that could work actually. I've got to start playing with my line thinness a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that looks like a crate. That looks like a crate. Heck yeah. Now, do we dare? Do we dare and duplicate this crate? I say. But of course. But of course we duplicate the crate. But we do have to size. We have to change it ever so slightly. Because it's not perfectly... not exactly... perfect. Ooh, actually, hold on. What if we... Oop, wrong way. Ooh, yeah, that could be an option. I could turn it the other way. Squares. Squares hard. Squares me no like. Set another crate over here. Yeah, that could work, actually. Ooh, and then the idea is, like, I could maybe have, like, a little... Oh, no, it would get covered by the hanging board. Dang. I was thinking I could put a little, like, radio on top of the crate as, like, a... Oh, this is where the music is coming from. But it would get covered up by the board. Dang it. Should I be doing this at a higher resolution? I have it at 1920 by... I probably should. What happens if... Stuck it... What happens if I... What, how big can I make this? Oh, very, very big, apparently. I think the bigger I make it, the better I'll have, the better time I'll have when it comes to doing details. This is still gonna be hell, just because it's so far away. But I think I should make that bigger, yeah. Let me reshape this box, too. There we go. Okay. Now moving on to this crate situation over here. Let's get you out of here. Could do one of those plastic milk crates, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I'm looking at references on my other tab. I could just make it a sack of grain, because I did want to put a sack of grain somewhere. Yeah. Let's do... Hold on. I have a rough idea how a sack of grain looks, but let me... Wait, is it morbid for me to draw a sack of grain as somebody made of burlap? I'm asking for a friend. Would that be the equivalent of, you know, humans having a skin bag in their room? No? Alright, fair enough. That would be really messed up if somebody had like a bag of just a simple bag of like skin that they never brought up in their room. It's like, oh yeah, you have a really nice house, Mrs. Johnson. Are we gonna talk about that? Are we gonna talk about that skin bag you have? No? Oh, okay. Your decorum is really nice. I'm glad you didn't do the whole millennial gray, but can we talk about the skin bag, please? It's like live, laugh, love, but the live, laugh, love thing is like made made out of like somebody's face you can still see in there. That would be messed up. I do kind of want to see that though. That would be kind of funny to see. Well, not funny, but you know what I mean. I think to really sell that this is grain, I'm gonna use really, really shaky lines. There we go. Oh, two. Zoom out. No, let's make him a little bigger. Let's make him a little tiny bit bigger. Little tiny bit bigger. Deform you too. Sorry, I'm realizing now I do a lot of really weird voices. If that ever becomes annoying, please let me know. It's how I stay sane most of the time. Now, what to put on this little shelf over here? Nick Max. I feel like every time you see a VTuber room, they have like little knickknacks on a shelf that relate to stuff they've done. But I'm just starting out, so I really don't have much to put up there, huh? I'll leave that there for now. But I do want to put up tools on the shelf. Because every good farmer needs a hoe. Let's get that going. I never know how to draw the head of a hoe, because it's this really weird shape. I don't think a lot of folks realize how weird of a shape like how weird a hoe is shaped until they have to draw it. Yes, Google, I mean the tool, not the person. Jesus Christ on a bike. Ah, okay. None of them have it at the angle that I need to draw it at, so I'm just gonna... uh, eh, eh. I'm just gonna do my best. Yeah, because if it's hanging up, then it would kind of be from, like, this angle. Does that work? No, 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 no. Less of a bell and more of an awning. Yeah, yeah, that works better. No, I didn't do that straight enough. Wait. We are advanced peoples. We have technology! Aha! And I'll correct that better. Gosh. Oh my god. Barn Cat is scratching up a nightmare on my door, I swear to god. I might have to pause to go feed him or something later. Maybe sooner than later. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good. That looks like a good approximation of a hoe. Make you a tad bigger. Form. There we go. Yeah, that works, that works. And then it'll have one of these, like, little things here, like this is where you would hang it. Actually, hold on a second. I just realized hoes are not typically put up on shelves because of their weird shape. So it would make more sense to have it like, oh, wrong way. Have it leaning against something, right? So rather than having it up on a shelf, like, a rough approximation would be like leaning it like that. I guess. But then I would have to change the shape of the... Yeah, I think I like this a little bit more. It's a little bit more dynamic for the clutter. And then I can actually show off the hoe a little bit more. That's not the shape that I want. Right? Okay. It tapers. I forgot. It tapers a little bit. Tapers a little bit. So I can see a bit better. liking that as much as I thought I would. Why are hoes so annoying to draw? I like them, and I like they're useful stuff, and they're all the good things. But man, are they annoying to draw. You know what? I'm gonna stick you up on a wall. I don't care if it makes sense or not. We'll have like little, if we have like little like, oh wait, duh, I'm an idiot. If I have little pegs, then I can insinuate it is hanging on said pegs. So hold on a second. And if we imagine that as a nail, then all we gotta do is see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. This will make sense in a second, I promise. Maybe not that close together, but we'll see how it looks. Okay. Nope. Ah, I didn't space them right. Okay. Well, I can fix that. There we go. More or less. Again, I'm not looking for perfection here because I kind of wanted to look like, not natural. What's the word? Very like, very DIY, very do it yourself. So then, if we have it like, if we have my hoe here, then it kind of implies that it's resting on these things, right? Right. Do your own barn. Exactly. All right. What other kind of tools would I need to prop up? Oh, you know, it's funny. I didn't even recognize that you did the acronym wrong. Whoopsies. I said I would do a pitchfork, right? I'm gonna pull up a picture of pitchfork. 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 Wait, it's called a pitchfork because you're digging in pitch, or like the word for dung, right? I think that's why it's called a pitch. Oh, wait. I remember now. Yeah, that's why it's called a pitchfork. Ah. Okay. No, I'm not looking for a devil's pitchfork. Jesus Christ, not everything's about not everything's about the devil. All right. How am I going to do this? Maybe a Halloween costume. Oh, like a Halloween costume as a reference? That's an idea. That's an idea. Maybe. But, well, the problem is I'm, again, going to run into a lot of, like, it's a bunch of, like, prop-looking stuff. But I don't want to look for, the prop stuff. I actually want to look for, like, you know, the actual farmer's tools. Which I don't understand why a pitchfork, of all things, got associated with, like, the devil. I'm sure there's some reading I never did about that, but it's one of those things of, like, I never understood why there was that connection. I just know there is one. Gosh. Barn Cat has resorted to now screaming. So, oh boy. He might be telling me it's time to stop soon and feed him, which it has been a hot minute. And he didn't get into any of the kibble. He just knocked over some of the kibble when I went down there. So I don't think he's had any proper food just yet. He's been fed throughout the day, but it's more of just like him being whiny and wanting food constantly. I can't. Okay. So I think what I might do is, what I'll do is, okay. I'm gonna finish up this pitchfork and see if there's anything else that I could potentially do at the same time, but I might be hitting a stopping point soon. So let's see. Okay. I do want to get back to doing some like gaming stuff at some point. I saw a lot of folks hopping back onto Overwatch, and while I used to play a lot of Overwatch, part of me is like, oh, but do I really want to throw myself into that again? I'm not sure if my heart's healed from being burned too much by that game. as dramatic as it sounds. But dramatic to an extent, but please draw the line. Thank you. Nope. Let's just erase this, because that's not working. Oh, I can be using the freaking symmetry tool. Who was gonna tell me I could be using symmetry? Somebody forgot to tell me I could use my symmetry tool. Symmetry. Nope. Symmetry. Oh, nope. Symmetry tool. Come over here. Thank you. There we go. Now, if we do, yes, that's what we need. Okay. It's not perfect, but I think that's close as we're gonna get for right now. Actually, that's a pretty dang good. That's a pretty dang good pitchfork. Oh, I could do a thinner line there. Okay. How's that look? Really tiny. Wow. Hold on. Wait, what is over here? Hold on. Maybe I don't do bigger, but longer? Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah, I think that works. I think that works, yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. It's coming together. Now, a sane person would have rendered these things out much later on, but we're not here for sanity, are we? Okay, you know what? I feel like that is a good as place as any to stop for now. Oh, there we go. There we go. Alrighty. I think that is where I'm gonna have to call it for now. I apologize. This was still a very last minute stream in terms of like me announcing it, and I really do feel bad about that. As I mentioned, I'm getting into some new chores, some new responsibilities around the farm, around town. So, I do want to apologize for being so sporadic with streams and all that, but I do promise that like I'm gonna have a better handle on my schedule in the next like month or so. And what I'm hoping to do is, like I said, when I debuted, is that I want to do a more conscious effort to stream, maybe not every week, maybe every week or maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every month. But I do want to at least try to make this a little bit more regular. So hopefully I can do that. But for now, just want to say thank you for stopping by, for folks who stopped by. This was a lot of fun. I really liked being able to talk out my ideas, and even being able to like bounce off some ideas from you guys. It was a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be working on this in the background, as I do a bunch of other stuff, mostly in my free time. Whenever I do get it. I don't know how much more I'm going to be working on this on stream, because I do want to surprise you guys a little bit. With this. But I promise that when it's done, I will make a proper stream showing it off and everything. So, yeah. All right, let us move to the winding down. Let me just... There we go. Alrighty. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much. Let me turn myself a little bit. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day. And if you're busy working, keep working hard. You got this. And if you're coming home from work, hey, What a great way to relax, right? Do something nice for yourself, okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.